Simon actually put the Fraps monitor on the screen so he won't do a Spain.
And not record.
Yeah. And I couldn't find a replay. That's so annoying. Hello everyone and welcome to the one that's going to ruin us both. Round 6 of the 2013 season. We're off to Monte Carlo. I am joined by Esteben.
¿Cómo estás?
I'll have a paella. So I just got the stats up on the screen actually. We're just having a quick chinwag about it. That initially it looks like I've not done too badly against you, but you seem to have better comebacks in the races.
Yeah, it's working out for me completely different to last season, where I always qualified fairly strongly and then the race just fell to pieces. In this time round, it's a steady improvement in the race. It doesn't mean I'm getting any points, but I'm getting closer to them. I think what did I finish last time out?
You was in the mid pack because I was last.
I'm sure that I finished just shy of the points on 2 or 3 occasions now. So hopefully I can get Button out of the way and pick something up. Plus, the problem is though, qualifying is so much more important here than any of the other tracks.
That is true. And
I think this version of the game conveys that better than the other ones as well. I really don't want to have to be picking my way past people on this. I don't have the confidence. But what I will be interested to see, and what I wanted to discuss before we jump in, is there is a contributing factor as to why I've been so slow in this game compared to the others. Yes,
that all came to light, didn't it? About 2 minutes after we'd finished the last race.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, there is a frame rate issue. So essentially, when you're playing multiplayer, even if it's co-op, and regardless of who is the host, the most powerful computer that is getting the most frames per second has a lap time advantage over those who have a slower connection or PC. And now I know Simon's going to be running Fraps and everything, but I can assure you his PC is magnitudes ahead of mine in terms of performance, because I'm playing this on a boot camp partition on a Mac, so it really isn't gaming hardware. Now it doesn't add up to the entire difference between us, so you still be outperforming me, but it affects the AI as well. So basically, while we're scooting around and you've got this faster frame rate, because if you remember when we looked backwards in China, we noticed it, but we didn't know what it was. Because do you remember on the long back straight?
Yes.
Cars couldn't decide where they were, and then eventually they just catch you up. It sort of flicker back and forth, but eventually they'd overtake you or catch you up, because the faster FPS overrides the slower. So basically, from what I understand, it was our computers disagreeing over where that car was or should be. And because you were getting more frames per second, it appeared the car was moving further than perhaps it should have been. So the AI had a time advantage over me as well. So I
poor you.
Yeah, that's a bit rubbish, but it means I don't feel quite so bad about my lap times now, except in multiplayer. I'm talking like public lobby multiplayer, because there are people running race distance that are like 7 seconds ahead. It's just insane. I saw someone break the they were consistently in the 124s in Australia, but they were dipping into 121s and 120s in qualifying and stuff. And to put that into perspective, my fastest lap time ever in F1 2013 around Australia is like a 1:27.9. So it's just impossible to play that kind of thing. So in closing, how about some decent matchmaking, Codemasters? How about you take a tally of players' average competitiveness around any one track and then try and match them to people of a similar ability? Because when you have someone who is of a similar ability, this game is so brilliant. I'm sorry, I'm waffling before we're supposed to get into the action. I had a race last weekend, actually. I was in McLaren. There was a German guy in a Lotus, and we were so evenly matched, it was insane. But I was playing with my usual start on the slower tyre, go for a longer stint.
Yeah.
And basically, we were leapfrogging each other in pit stops right the way through to the end of the race. And I believe we finished within 4/10 of each other. We were just consistently lapping the same lap times, same kind of performance, but our tyres were going off at different times. And it was so much fun. It really was. More of that, please. Less of the 120s round Melbourne.
But I wonder if that's also a bit of a hacking of setups and stuff as well.
Yeah, why do the 111 setup still work?
I suppose if you can handle it. And because I thought if they would work for like a lap, and then your tyres would be shot because you're just sliding around everywhere. But it appears not. So we will see. We will see. But no, great insight. I like that. Let's match people to what they've done. Although having seen just the PS3 version, which I know doesn't sell nearly as well as the PC one, I don't think. Not many people have bought F1 2013 compared to what I thought they would do. So, yeah, I wonder. The lobbies are quite empty on the PS3 version, so I've yet to really go on the PC version. So we shall see. Hopefully there'll be more chums out there.
Should we take a look at the standings before we dive in?
Oh, I've been busy cycling through whilst you were chatting.
All right, never mind then.
No, that's all right. That's what teammates are for. But was there anything you wanted to poke out on that while we're there? Apart from Alonso's up top.
Yeah, nothing really. It seems to be settling down a little bit. I mean, obviously Vettel's way off where he should be, but the constructors, the top four are the right teams, just in the wrong order. And then we're the only real spike out in fifth. I like how it has accounted for McLaren's real life performance.
Yes.
By putting them amongst the Saubers and the Force Indias.
That is true. And I like the fact that Marussia have actually ahead of Toro Rosso.
Yes, which will probably be a bit of a premonition for the future, right? When they put this kid in Toro Rosso next year.
That is true. Although, to be fair, I don't actually think that is correct, because I've got Ricciardo and Vernon, they're ahead of Di Resta, and then it's Chilton ahead of Bianchi, which is just lollable. But, yeah, that how do you say that guy's name? Let's get down to quali.
Kvyat, I think.
Kvyat.
Shall we just go into qualifying? Because that's going to be
trying
to pronounce his name.
Yeah. Well, that could be a worthy 15 minutes. Awesome. My box is ticked.
Oh, sorry. I'm on the wrong bloody screen.
This is
sorry,
not
everyone.
looking
Sorry.
like going
we'll cut that out.
And now that I actually have Fraps running on the actual left overlay of the screen, I've always turned it off because I always had it in my head that overlay actually comes out on the video. But it doesn't, because I've been doing it now for a couple of videos that I've just put on the website. At least I'll be able to tell you exactly what my frames per second is. So that might be interesting.
Oh, thank the Lord it's dry.
Oh, is it? I'm still on my way.
Let's just see if it's actually dry on the race day. Because I really don't want to have to change setups. That would be unfortunate.
That would be. Oh, wow. The sun's just done a hallelujah moment through my window. Blinded.
At least you've got a bit of sun. It's miserable over here, pal.
Oh, no.
Let's have a look-see. Oh, constant 24 degrees, 0 chance of rain. That's what we like.
Love that.
And if we've learned anything, and we have, it's that you must always use the default setups. Never listen to what Ben tells you. I want to go to the right, but the question is just how far.
I'm going one to the left.
Sorry, got to say it. How good are the sound assets in this?
Awesome. Oh.
Right. I'm off out because, why prolong the inevitable?
Yeah.
I don't think it matters so much I was waffling at the start of this, because the chances are the video is going to be quite short as we both get smashed out and or disqualified as we were last time.
Ooh, I don't like. Ah, there we go. We don't want a penalty. This pit lane is the worst pit lane ever. Oh, I've gone over the line. Oh, I didn't notice. Fab.
I've already made friends with the barrier.
Oh, I think I just followed you in. If that was the only barrier scuff I've seen so far. 90 frames per second.
Yeah, that's way more than I'm getting. You must have some serious grunt.
Yeah, I got a chum of mine, you may know him, Dave Carr-Smith, built this for me.
I do know him. Well, I know of him. I know of his work.
So yeah, he built this for me a couple of years ago after my piece, because I used to do all of my racing on laptops and stuff, and it just died one day, and then it emerged that the people who built my laptops, who are the people, Dell, had released a laptop that they knew was faulty.
Like the ones they've done recently that smell of cat's urine. Did you hear about this?
No!
There's all
amazing.
the new, I believe it's the Latitude 9 something, 960 or whatever. They have an issue where they've been treated with some kind of chemical and it makes it smell of cat's urine.
Amazing.
Which is a novel, if unanticipated, feature.
Oh, it's a bit of my front run gone. How funny.
This must be the only track on the calendar where I desperately need traction control. I wish I'd put it on.
This is
I wonder if I would be faster if I put driving aids on. Because I have plenty of people tell me that it actually slows you down.
It does, but then it's just whether or not you actually gain through being consistent or not. God, this car is like stiffer than a porn star's tool.
I'm glad to see you keeping up the tradition of the bawdy banter.
It never goes away.
Keep them coming back.
I can never get to back right. I always want to smack the barrier on the way in. Oh, that's a swimming pool gone wrong.
Just want to say this car is atrocious. Utterly and totally atrocious. And I've just locked up and got a puncture.
Oh no.
I would box, but that was the end of the start-finish straight, so I'm completely and utterly naffed.
Ah! I'm so sorry.
It's alright, it's my fault. I should have got out of the way.
You got some screen time. That's alright, I'm now holding up Vettel.
Oh!
Whoa, Ricardo. Scaring me.
You really can't turn when you've got a puncture.
No. Oh!
Well, anyway, since last time we were racing, a patch has come out.
Yes.
I wonder if the ghosting issue is any better.
I've already ghosted momentarily, but I've then unghosted since.
There is a massive amount of debris.
That's me.
All right.
Because there's a bit that must jut out down that back straight, and I caught it on my front wing and had a puncture, but I was going straight. Work that out.
I can't tell if I'm actually 13th or if I'm just ahead of people who haven't yet set a lap time. Oh no, Chilton's just jumped me. So.
That means you lost.
Yeah.
I think we could be back down where Caterham belong. Who do you think will drive for Caterham next year?
Oh, do you know? I desperately hope they keep Van der Gaard.
Yay!
But I suspect that they won't. I think we're going to see it all go completely wrong on the grid next year.
What with money?
Yeah, Pastor Maldonado will get a drive, and he shouldn't. It's nothing personal, but he shouldn't. It's not that he's a terrible driver or anything. It's just that he's not arguably as good as some of the young guys coming through who should be given a shot. And Massa's going to end up taking up a seat at Williams. And he shouldn't. It's just that you've got to be cruel in these things. I mean, it's a sport at the end of the day. It's not a marketing exercise, and you should have talented drivers in the car. Da Costa should be in the Toro Rosso instead of Kvyat.
Yeah.
But Russian Grand Prix, it's a big market for Red Bull.
That was arguably why Narain Karthikeyan got that seat at HRT, was purely for the Indian Grand Prix. I should put Chandok in. But, yeah, but it's always been like that to a degree. It's just what I've noticed, and I can't remember who said it, but I said it before, and then someone said it on a broadcasting, is that it was always just the back end of the grid was just money driven. Now that back of the grid is slowly creeping further up it, and maybe that's where it's now starting to be a massive problem.
That's true. Well, it was the back end of the grid, with the exception of Minardi, God love them. They did heroically at resisting pay drivers. I mean, think about who they brought on. I mean, you took in Alonso and your Webbers and people like that, you know.
Fisichella, Trulli.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure that apparently every driver comes with some form of backing. Yeah. But I mean, when it comes to out-and-out pay drivers, not a bit of it, for the most part. I mean, even Alex Young was there on merit as much as anything else. Go on then, go past Massa.
You are ahead of people, by the way.
Surely not. What
Bianchi's
sorcery
behind.
Is this?
Hamilton's the slowest guy at the minute.
Good. Actually, no, I take that back. I quite like him now. Why do I keep... Oh, my God.
Bianchi's behind you as well.
I've got the exact same damage I've just lapped round to get rid of.
Oh, no. Where are you doing it?
Turn 1. It's because I'm coming to the end of the... I'm coming to the end of the DRS area, and because the wing is open, I guess I'm just not... All season, I have not locked my brakes. I've been really, really good. And then now I'm locking every time I come into turn 1 in anger. Except for that one flying lap I set.
Well, I got Vettel'd and sadly had to cut the chicane at my lap. Otherwise, that would have been...
Everyone is bottoming.
Yeah.
Everyone is bottoming out a lot more than I am, and I'm wondering if that's a factor.
Quite possibly. It does look quite cool.
Speaking of Vettel, I wanted to speak to you about him.
Awesome.
Thoughts?
Liked him more than I've ever done after his celebration.
Agreed. But not just that. I've never particularly found him likable. I know his job isn't to be likable necessarily.
Surely there's a bit in the contract that says Ben factor.
Yeah, the Ben factor. The
Esteben factor.
But I do sort of start to feel sorry for him now. I think maybe we have generally been overcritical of him. There's no excusing Multi 21 in my book. No excuse at all. Could I honestly say I wouldn't have done the same thing? Arguable. I like to think I wouldn't have done, but you know, when you're not playing a game, when it's real millions out there and you're trying to set records and do the best you can possibly do, Could I honestly say I wouldn't have been at least tempted if I thought I could do it? That said, it doesn't make him particularly likable.
No.
But at the end of the day, you've got to accept, I suppose, that he is, if not the best driver out there at the moment, he's certainly among them. Like there's no doubting he's very, very talented.
Yeah.
I hesitate to say he's the best driver simply because we all know the value of whatever Adrian Newey puts his pencil to. But by the same measure, surely if Mark Webber was as good, he'd get the same out of the car. Now, I know there's a Helmut Marko factor in there, and I'm sure that when they're assembling Mark's car, it's not uncommon for Dr. Marko to sort of walk past and knock certain components down onto the floor.
Like
just briefly,
alternator.
of course, just briefly, not maliciously. But, and it is unusual for all the reliability issues to be on one car rather than the other.
Yeah.
But that said, I don't think that's the full story, and I think maybe he needs a bit more respect and acceptance, because at the end of the day, he's a human being. I expect it's probably quite hurtful to be being kicked in the ribs consistently by the people you're there to entertain.
I don't accept. I don't like the booing. I think the booing is inexcusable. Since when is that sporting, regardless of whether you like someone or not? Especially since like that kind of stuff has gone now, especially like the Multi-21 things, and it's funny because the further away you get from Europe, the more civil the crowds appear to be these days.
Yeah.
What does that say about Europeans? We're so sorry to the rest of the world. Oh, that's a lot of... Is that your front wing?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
I didn't get a puncture this time. I didn't lock up quite so badly.
Okay.
But I'm braking way ahead of my usual brake marker. I'm trying not to slam them on fully, but something is too untoward. But at least I'll get another lap done, even if it is not enough to get me off last place.
Oh no. This has taken me a few laps to get used to this car again, because I'm doing a single player on Legend AI in the Force India. And oh my god, hello light years. There's only a little bit of difference between the two, but it's... Oh my god. That car is pointy. I know where I'm going with that. This is just... There's a roll in it. It's like someone's forgot to put the anti-roll bars down.
I have to say, this car is shocking. It really is shocking.
I've not driven the Marussia enough to know which one's worse.
I mean, I always, as a rule, I always start my career games at Marussia. It's how I always play.
Tradition.
And I have to say, it may be on paper a worse car, but I think I prefer it. But I agree with you. I think the Force India is it's a car I'm always incredibly strong in. I've just accepted my fate. I'm going to start last.
I'm a second up on Sector 1 on my PB. Where did that come from? Probably by not crashing everywhere.
Sergio Perez has a 10-place grid penalty.
Amazing.
So actually, he's going to start just in front of me. Even with a 10-place grid penalty, I'm still last. I'm 1.1 seconds down on Max Chilton. But my lap times in single player would put me... I'd split the Force Indias. I'd be 13th.
Dope.
I can dip into the 117.9s, which is an 8th on the grid here, but in a Caterham it's not going to happen.
Wow. Alonso. Right, now where's Vettel? Because he got stuck behind me on his hot lap.
Let me see.
Oh, 18th.
Oh, 17th. He's just
Oh.
pipped Maldonado.
Amazing. Using the 107% rule, though. That's my unusual thing. Did I do well?
Are you 19th or are you actually 13th?
13th.
Unbelievable. Well, shall we rip it like a plaster?
Oh dear. Go gentle. Go gentle. Sob, sob, sob.
Yeah, alright, you can tell me off this time. I deserve that.
It's crying for me as well. Such a moose.
I thought they would have fixed that in the first patch. It was a big patch as well.
Oh, Simon, don't throw your mouse across the floor.
And considering they only generally support their games till December, January time.
Yep.
You only usually get 3 patches, so...
I'm waiting for the additional 70s car DLC.
I found out, by the way, that 70s Ferrari, there is a way of unlocking it. It's in the game.
Ah.
I don't know what that is because I saw there was an article there, but I didn't read it.
I bet it's by doing those challenge mode where you've got to get gold on all the different scenarios. What you fancy doing on the old pit stopperoos?
To be honest, mate, it matters not. It matters not. Starting on primes, I can last till lap 19 if I wanted to. Why don't I come in? I'm coming in lap 14.
Okay.
I know there's going to be a bunch of people slapping their palms against their foreheads going, moron, you're just minimizing your time on the options. But in such a short race, I think actually it's probably negligible anyway. I don't think I'm going to put in a stellar performance, whatever I do. So
I think I'm going to ruin my tyres, so I'm going to do a 10-10.
Tell you what's happened for me. I don't know if it's happened here. Actually, go to pit stop screen. You can see on your tyres, can't you? Yeah, if you look, all your tyres are 100%.
Again?
Oh, no, sorry.
Oh,
the
mine is.
options aren't, but the wear's very little. For some reason, in my career mode, tyre wear has stopped.
Oh.
Just completely. I bumped the difficulty up, I've bumped it back down, I've done everything, and just tyre wear has stopped completely.
Since the patch?
Yes, it is not a thing in my career mode.
What a weird thing to end up ruining in a patch.
Yeah.
That's kind of the big thing for this game, is the fact that your tyres are freaking screwed so quickly.
In other news, something that was in the patch, by the way, is that a lot of people on the Steam forums were requesting more grip. Which to me is insane. This feels the grippiest the game has ever felt.
Yeah.
For me. I'm still the slowest person in the world, but I mean, it's grippy. And Codemasters have caved and apparently added extra grip to all cars, all tyres. So, there we go. Even less excuse now for me barreling nose first into the barrier.
Okay. Good luck.
And the best of luck to you too, sir.
Sir, you are being hunted for 21st place. Oh, dear.
The Steam Halloween sale, that was a bit rubbish, wasn't it?
Yeah, I bought a couple of things, but not very much.
I think we're going to start seeing the end of these big sales.
Yeah, I loved that sale when I used to do everything in the entire world. I know a lot of people would sit and wait the entire year and just buy everything at once. I wonder if that's why.
Last Christmas in January, the sale was insane.
They've still got time to do that, though, I suppose. Oh, here we go. Lights. Oh, Simon didn't have the throttle down in time. Oh.
It's all right. I am falling behind the Marussias. I have no speed. God, this track is bumpy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a hit on. No Duresta. Oh, Webber's just smacked it in the barriers. Excellent.
I am seeing the AI make a lot more mistakes these days, which is pleasant.
Yeah. Oh, not as pleasant as me doing that. Oh, hang on. Did that let me get away with that? What? So I cut the chicane and gained 3 places, not complaining. But
Whole accident with Vettel and Bottas.
I'm glad you pronounced it just like that.
Oh, apparently I've got a 10-second penalty.
Oh no.
I kind of expected it. Vettel's in the pits.
So you now feel slightly mean to say well done.
But I didn't bin it into corner 1, so that's nice. There is debris all over the track.
That would be me.
That was you again?
But I've still got my front wing. It was just the
I have about 60% of my front wing, which is enough.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much front wing a guy needs, and the rest really is just showing off.
Especially now with all that extra grip that we've been given.
Yeah. No, if I'm honest, I can feel it a bit. It doesn't give me any extra confidence in the car because it's a dog, but oh my god, how far ahead is everybody?
No, that's great. Keep holding them up because then that may mean that Caterham gets some points.
I'm 14th behind Webber.
Oh, I've just whacked the other end plate off.
It's alright, Simon. It's superfluous. It's superfluous.
This is like pinball. I'm so sorry to everyone watching this. Mummy.
Congratulations, Ben. That's another lap completed where you forgot your KERS button.
It's like a pantomime of Grand Prix racing.
I think the problem is that we don't do these close enough together. That all consistency goes out of the window.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, now that my life is a wee bit more settled, I will be less ignomatic about whether or not I can actually ever do anything anymore. Stupid old people's home throwing things at my nan's head. Never a good plan. Right. Oh. Oh, that's not the line at all, Simon. Oh, neither's that. Smack barrier, smack barrier. Ha ha. I'm sure he is coming in for tyres within the next 4 laps.
I see you're up in 8th. Nice work.
The train that you've got behind you is kind of what I've got behind you all the way down to 13.
Well, you're not training them enough because I am not catching Webber. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to mute my microphone because I can feel a coughing fit coming on and I don't know where it's come from. And I can't take my hands off the steering wheel to gamepad. One sec.
That's immersion for you. Okay. So the thing that I find with Monaco is that after a few laps, you get a bit hypnotized with it all.
Very true.
And that can either mean that you hit the zone, quote unquote, or you hit the barrier. And it's really, really dependent on how you're feeling that day.
I've just lost so much time trying to steer with one hand so I could operate my mute button.
That was for the audience. I just don't want there to be a safety car. There will be a certain Mr. Melhuish who will be laughing his head off because he still thinks the video where I was about to get into the points on my career mode on single player, there was only 10 cars left in the race and the safety car was out, and I had to unlap myself from the safety car and I hit it and it disqualifies you, and I screamed so loud.
I had a similar issue occur where I was flying, actually. I was doing really, really well. And I took my last pit stop and the safety car came out right after. And so I joined the back of the grid and the race finished under the safety car, so I couldn't get past anybody.
Oh no. I've not had so many safety car woes actually in this game. The coding appears to have sorted itself out a bit. Doesn't seem to come out so much, but
no, I've
never
not had a
has.
safety car at all, aside from that one occasion. It was the same race actually, where I got stuck in the pits. There was a glitch.
Oh.
And they tried to release me, but it registered that there was a Williams coming, and the Williams basically stopped in the pit lane behind me, like it felt like it couldn't get past me, even though I was in my box.
How funny.
And I was stuck in the pits for 42 seconds until it sorted itself out, because Daniel Ricciardo didn't have the same qualms about getting past and went straight into the back of the Williams.
Excellent. God. Showing his Red Bull form already.
I still can't make my mind up about how he's going to do.
I'm not sure.
I like that he's in there on merit.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm very worried the grid's going to be a bit pants next year. Look at me using the word pants like I'm more middle class.
Get back here.
I think we'll see Maldonado go to Lotus instead of Hulkenberg, because I really don't trust them to get their junk together when it comes to money.
Nope.
I'm sorry, this Infinity Quantum Motorsports deal has been in the works for the entire season. And even Eric Boulier's got to the point now where he will not say something like he has been saying. Like, oh, we're about to sign it. Oh, yeah, it's just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Even he knows that's complete and utter nonsense. The only thing I can think of is that these investors are asking for something that old Mr. Lopez is not prepared to give them. Like they want a bigger stake in the team.
Yeah. Which I suppose would leave Hulkenberg staying at Sauber, especially now that the car's picked up a bit.
I think the best thing he could do is stay at Sauber. Whether it's good for Sauber is another question, because
they're on the line as well, aren't they?
They really need the cash, which is a shame. I love Sauber. I think they're a brilliant team.
Yeah.
And I really hate to see them struggling for money.
I don't remember them having to struggle for money before.
No, but they had the Petronas cash for a long time, didn't they? And the Red Bull
Yeah,
cash.
that's
And
true.
now those, I mean, Mercedes is essentially, for the most part, Petronas funded. So I think it's their biggest external investor.
And sorry, yes, they did struggle for cash in 2010 because they didn't actually have a sponsor.
No, that was all on Peter Sauber's pocket money, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And God
I,
bless him for doing that, by the way.
yeah, and keeping the team in the sport, he should be repaid. And do you think Sorokin will actually be in the 2014 seat, or do you think they'll push him back a year?
No, he'll be in. He will be in. And Gutierrez will depend on what happens with Hulkenberg.
Yeah, because I don't actually know how much money he brings.
Well, another thing about his seat being in question is that he uses backing from Carlos Slim, and no check has been written thus far.
Ah.
So if he can't bring the money, then maybe you'll see someone else in that seat.
Reminds me of Jean-Denis Delatraz in a Pacific in 1995 when his money never came and Keith Wiggins, who was the boss, went, "We are not prepared to keep Delatraz on talent alone." As he drove 7 seconds off his pole, off his teammate, and retired after 14 laps because he had cramp in his arm.
Oh, hey, Super Aguri are back, eh?
I know! I favourited the hell out
Same
of that
livery
tweet.
as well.
Are they? Amazing.
Yeah, if you look at Autosport, they've got a picture of the car. And I just want to say welcome back, Super Aguri. We have missed you dearly.
Oh, we have. So that's for Formula E, isn't it? Oh, Christ.
Yes. They also, a few weeks back, released the sound of the car, which sounds phenomenal, by the way.
Okay.
And you're going to come over here for the race. I will not take no for an answer.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. Especially now I'm going to cheer Super Aguri on.
Yeah, we'll have to fork out some merchandise, mate.
I want an E-Day car.
Yeah, what a dude.
Oh, it says you're pitted.
I've pitted because I lost too much of my front wing.
Okay.
Problem is now I need to last 11 laps on the old option, so we'll see how that works for me. I think once we get this and Canada out of the way, you might see me pick up and be a bit more competitive, but
I love the Canadian circuit. Not always the fastest on it, though. That's my only problem.
really, I hate it.
Ah.
Not a fan of it at all. I think it's just because I'm terrible at it.
Mm.
I tell you what as well, I'm incredibly slow around Spa, which is something that I imagine is quite difficult to be. It's such a naturally fast circuit.
I've never gone well in online sim racing. Go on then, Hulkenberg, through you go. Yeah, I've always struggled a wee bit at Spa myself, actually. Oh, come on, tyres.
Someone else I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Romain Grosjean.
Hasn't he came of age?
What a dude! I've always liked him, but it was very hard to defend him when he was driving a bit loopy, shall we say.
Yeah. But I think
mean,
everyone knew that the talent was there. It's just, can it ever be fully unlocked?
I think he's proved himself massively. I see future world champion in him. I
Yeah.
really, really do. I don't want him to be another Jean Alesi, a Nearly guy. I think he's got the Jensen Button quality of being likable at the same time.
Yes.
He's likable when he's succeeding, which the sport really needs. It really does.
Yeah, because there's not many of those, as we've found out with a certain German, that people seem to turn off. I mean, I think you'll get the backlash of anyone that constantly wins. So I'm looking forward to. I mean, 2014. My worry is that not only have Red Bull got that driver, but they've also got the guy that makes the best car, and on a fresh set of rules, that's essentially how they managed to get in front this time, and it worries me that you'll get another complete whitewash. But if someone else is able to do a very good job, I'm looking forward to having things being a lot more blanket.
I always found that Sauber is a team that has done well during big rule changes.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that can be the same again. They never retain the advantage, but how happy was I, 2010, pure white Sauber car, no money in the bank, and then they're one of the teams that had the idea of double diffuser and come out top of the timesheets in the first test. I was such a happy individual that day, and I thought, please let this be another Brawn. Just like a team that comes out of nowhere and
does stuff. Oh, this has not worked out for me at all.
I've lost my end plates again, so that means turning corners now is touch and go at best.
I think Simon has a punk. Oh no, done that wrong in the barrier.
Does Simon have a puncture?
Simon was about to and lost it, thinking that he had. But yeah, my tyre's not lasting. And now I'm limping. Oh my god. Don't give me a penalty for that. Where are you?
18th.
Well, hey.
Because I pitted from 14th a lot earlier than I had anticipated I'd need to because I completely lost my nose. And now I'm back with no end plates already. And I've had so many clean laps. It's just when you have a non-clean lap on this track, it punishes you much harder. I've just seen a Williams end plate, which I assume is from Bottas.
Me and DeResta are in for front wings.
I love that your name is Guido.
He's my new favourite driver. Oh, you're bottoming out quite a bit as well. Or was that brake? I'm not sure.
Oh god, you're behind me, which means I'm on screen, which means I'm going to drive even worse than I normally do.
That's alright.
Like that, where I hit the barrier.
And then Ricardo as well.
Yeah. But in my defence, I have like 20% of my front wing remaining, I think. But at least I got the right line through that corner.
You did. I'm also on the speedy tyres.
I just can't get the power down early enough as well as a factor.
Hmm.
I tell you where I am good though.
What's that?
Singapore. But we've never made it that far without being fired. Would you care to go through, mate? Because I am going to smash both our cars to pieces if you stay anywhere near me over the next few laps. So I will run wide here.
Oh!
We both had the same idea.
Yeah. You're doing some great blocking there.
Oh well, makes for some interesting screen time. there's probably a decent number of people that would actually like to see us competitively race each other, but we've very rarely been close to each other on even terms.
Yeah.
Where we're both on the same tyre and neither of us is damaged in any way. Except in Malaysia, which was a hell of a race, I think.
That was amazing, that race. That's the best one so far, I think.
I think that's the best video we've made out of any of these.
It's one that's got the most views as well, probably because it's the one that we've promoted.
And I'm sorry, but that overtaking move, if we do a highlights reel at the end of the year, that triple overtake into the final corner, I'm having that.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind that it was recklessly dangerous.
It didn't matter. It looked awesome. Do you think Raikkonen will turn up for the last 2 races?
I kind of want him not to.
I want to see who else I'll put in.
It would David Valsecchi, won't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, David Valsecchi.
Good recovery.
What has happened to Bottas? Is he ahead of you?
Yeah, he's 7 seconds up the road.
Well, it's gone to pot for us a bit, hasn't it? But I take heart from the fact that it has gone to pot for you a lot more than it's gone to pot for me.
You've gone up
based on
the
our
order.
relative qualifying positions. A bit of Schadenfreude for you there.
Yeah, that was I should have pitted a lap earlier, knowing that the tyres weren't going to last.
Well, since we clearly don't know anything about this game, should we talk about what else we've been playing since we kind of combine this with the beta cast now?
Yeah, what have I been playing? Oh, I completed Puppeteer on the PS3. That's amazing. Love that game. 2D platformer, but it's done entirely on a puppet stage, so the set moves around you and stuff. Really well done. It's got a narrator who does cheeky side tongue-in-cheek comments. So if you like that kind of stuff, that's amazing. And the rest of it, I'm doing Indie Nova for my channel, which is where I'm playing a different indie game every single day that I really like and uploading videos on it.
Oh my god, I'm being blue flagged. Sorry to cut you off there.
That's not good.
Why did I get a penalty for that?
No, not a penalty. You've done so well.
Di Resta was second apparently, and he went straight into the back of me.
He's really not. I took him off into the pit lane.
I need to pit as well. I'm last.
Oh, I'm closing everyone down, but I don't think I've got enough laps.
Do you know what? Another request for your Codemasters. We'll get back to this beta cast in a minute.
Yeah.
Can you please, for the love of God, remove time penalties? Just do stop-go penalties. Or grid penalties for the next race. Like, I'd be fine with getting a grid penalty for some of what's... You know, sometimes I have made mistakes that warrant a penalty, and I'd be fine with a grid penalty for the next race. But losing 10 seconds during a race, it gives you no idea of where you're actually fighting for.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Back to the semi-beta cast. I picked up Theme Hospital on Good Old Games.
Ah, bloaty head.
Why on earth has that game not been remade? And I don't mean like remade into a fancy 3D version. I mean keep the style and just expand on it as an idea. That would be so good. I've also been dabbling in various other things. I've been getting around a little bit recently. Shadowrun Returns. I finally...
Oh, how is that? Because that was on my radar, but I've not done anything.
If you like reading, and I do, and you're fine with it not being voice acted, which some people aren't, but again, not a problem for me, it's brilliant. The writing is excellent. My one biggest complaint with it, though, is that you can't save when you want to.
Oh,
You save at like the end of, I guess you'd call them chapters almost.
yeah.
It auto saves. And the problem is that if you're halfway through a chapter and you've done something really well, you're really proud of where you are, and then the door goes and you have to go out or something,
Hmm.
you either have to sacrifice your progress or just accept you're going to be late everywhere. Simply because you can't just exit. And I hate to say it, but I've become one of those dirty casual gamers.
But where you need to save and just dive in and out and...
Yeah. Now the thing is that when you first get into gaming, which is usually as a child or in your early teens,
Uh-huh.
that's not really a factor. When you sit down and play, you've usually got the whole evening.
Yeah.
And when you get to being an adult, no matter how committed a gamer you are and how much you love it as a medium,
Yeah.
there's just too much in the way. And I don't have the luxury anymore that allows me to play, 30, 40-minute long chapters without an ability to save.
Especially if you're getting right to the end. And then you begrudge having to replay.
Exactly, and that's something I also hate. I hate replaying. I mean, I'll start a game anew. That's absolutely fine. Play it out a different way. But I absolutely hate having to replay sections, especially if I've enjoyed them because it was new to me and the story captured my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And now I need games to respect my time a bit. And I've always loved the idea of these big, grand scope games, but now I'm just put off by them. I mean, I've put more money than is sensible into backing Star Citizen, the new Chris Roberts game.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it was stupid of me to do. It really, really was, because buying into that game is just a money sink. It is. I have no doubt they'll deliver, but at the end of the day, they're asking for a lot of money from people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spent all this money, and I know full well that I'm not going to get value for it because I just don't have the time people have to do it.
Yeah.
I think the thing is as well, I should just point out that when I say casual gamer, people often confuse these terms. If you're a casual gamer, it doesn't mean that you like everything turned down, you don't like a simulation, or you want the game simplified in any way. It just means that you're someone who doesn't have a lot of time to commit to gaming. And it does require that the game shows a little bit more respect for your time, and a lot of games at the moment are very poor at doing that. It's why I can't do MMOs. And I can't do clan-based games. I can't do sim racing anymore. I should have learned a long time ago that I didn't have the time to even run a team.
Yeah.
Because it fell apart on me 2 or 3 times because you just don't have the time to commit to people. They want to talk to you about stuff and you're just not available. And that makes me sad in a way because I don't think the casual market is one that's particularly well catered to. Or would you disagree?
I would disagree, but I'd say that the casual gamer is expected to then go for mobile gaming. It's like you can't have casual on a console or casual on a PC. And it's really interesting because whenever you look at Steam Greenlight and things like that, the amount of people that it might be a cute little game that you dive in and out of for 5 minutes, but people are like, nope, this must be a mobile game. I don't want mobile shit on here. But actually, they're games that I do lap up for a quick 5 minutes if that's all I've got, because then I know I won't dive into a big game. I purposely put aside time so that I can still live and die by my gaming slightly. Sorry, everyone else in the world. But if I really don't have that time, or if I've got dinner cooking and I just think, right, I just need 5 minutes, those are the games that I will dive to, and therefore I do want them on as many different abilities to dive into as possible.
No, I agree with you because there is definitely something to be said for the patterns that you see on Greenlight. I think what people are saying most of all when they say they don't want mobile-esque titles on the PC, though, is that they don't want microtransactions.
No, that is so true. And Plants vs Zombies 2 still disgusts me potentially because of it's so badly gated. I've not played it, but having watched other people play it, and it's like, can't do that. because you then have to replay the same level 5 times before you then get to the next one, so on and so forth. And yeah, microtransactions puts me off games. I don't own anything that's free to play where you have to have microtransactions. I want to pay one price for my product, and that's it.
Yep, seconded. And in closing, because we've got to wrap up
Yeah.
the race here, but in closing, what I can say is I feel no shame saying this. I don't know why I paused there. Star Trek Online, just try it, Simon. Even if you don't like Star Trek. I mean, I'm not a particularly big fan of the series.
No, I'm not.
But that is a game. Just play it on the basis of seeing how free to play can be done well. I mean, there are two schools on this. Some people say that you do have to spend money to get the full out of the game, but I've not spent a darn penny on the thing, and I don't feel it's held me back in any way. I think the progression moves along at an excellent pace. Just go out and try it. I think it's a model for everybody else, frankly.
Awesome. Well, I shall take a little nosedive on that. On this race, though, you managed to get yourself 2 timed penalties there.
Yes, I did. But one of them was just the rest of catapulting into the back of me. I had nowhere to go because I'd just gone nose first into the barrier, getting out of the way of Alonso.
Oh.
Managed to not lock my brake in the race, except for that one incident where I was trying to slow down to let Alonso through because I didn't want to get a penalty for ignoring a blue flag. To be honest, 20th is 2 better than I expected to finish, so I will take it.
You finished.
Exactly, I finished.
Which is
great. Is good.
And your fastest lap was better than Ricciardo and Bianchi. And that's it. So
thanks for trying to talk me up there, and then you ran out of steam.
You was within a tenth of Chilton. I'm slightly annoyed because actually my fastest lap, admittedly I was doing a different strategy to a lot of others, would have put me quite nicely up in the top 10 had I have not just been a bit shitty in the middle. So never mind. We live and learn. But that is it for the Monaco Grand Prix. Should we sign off?
We shall do that.
I've signed on the dotted line. We'll see you for the next round in old Montreal. Toodles.